as you can see, we don't even have a decent playground. We have a gazebo that's filthy, hasn't been cleaned, doesn't even have park benches for kids to have birthday parties here, have a little barbecue cookout, and folks on the weekend, we don't have a soccer field, we don't even have a track. I mean, it's just completely, as you can see, filled with trash, empty beer cans and all sorts of things, and it's just been neglected for so long, and it really upsets me that other areas continue to thrive and have more while we have less.
Dr. Sergio Lira, president of LULAC Greater Houston and WYP team member, totally hacked off by the continuing neglect of literally dozens of city parks in mostly working class communities as new parks are being built and existing facilities like Levy Park in Upper Kirby on the brink of a TERS-funded $14 million expansion. Lira has toured many of Houston's most ramshackle parks and gathered pictures like this Latino family compelled to fashion their own makeshift swing, and more disturbing images of homeless campers and discarded condoms. His message to the mayor and council is simple.
Their priorities are backwards. They should literally start from the parks that are the most needy before they even approve any type of extra expenditures. But what's happening is that some of the parks that already have playgrounds and have amenities are getting more.
Panel, this is a fundamental issue of inequity perpetuated in part by those tax increment reinvestment zones, which return hundreds of millions of city tax dollars directly to the prosperous neighborhoods where they came from. Bill King, you don't like this one bit.
Yeah, this is a great example of how crazy this TERS system has become in Houston. Now, look, TERSs are extremely common across the country. There's some good uses for them. We have some that do a good job. But the way we run them in Houston has been completely run amok now for a long time. So we have this park, Levy Park, over in Upper Kirby, a very wealthy neighborhood. It's a beautiful park, you know, in the middle of some high-rise buildings and everything. And they want to go spend $14.5 million doing about a 1.5 acre expansion of this park. You know, it is just unbelievable. This is how you would prioritize your money. This is about 20% of the park budget for the whole city for the year. You know, we did a parks assessment, and we listed, I think it's 186 parks we have in the city, by the ones that needed the most work and the one that needed the less support. Guess what number 186 was? Levy Park. And yet City Council almost unanimously approved to give it $14.5 million at a recent council meeting. How does this make any sense at all?
Paul, I suspect many of your students live in those working class neighborhoods. What do you make of this issue?
First of all, the one person who didn't was Councilmember Julian Ramirez, so kudos to him, because someone finally needed to break that seal. What I see when I see this is I see the system operating as it was designed, right? So this is where, so if the money's generated through the TERS and the TERS then gets that money, that's the system that we created. So the reform is not saying that the TERS has to then give money back to the city and the city's going to redistribute that money. That's not the way the system works. We created the system. We're allowing the system. We're electing people to perpetuate the system. And unless we put pressure on our council members and get them to join Councilman Ramirez to say no to this, and more importantly, to relook at, to Bill's point, should we even be continuing to use this? Once that park has reached what it's supposed to be, can we take that TERS down? I think the answer needs to be yes.
30 seconds to Charles Blaine.
I mean, it's just a shame. Yeah, I mean, to put money towards the park that comes dead last on the list to need for in terms of need, it's ridiculous. But we are a very philanthropic city, and I think if the city is not going to act, we should lean back on that program that Turner used to do, the Spark Parks, where the companies adopted the parks and did them, because clearly the city's not going to take initiative to do the parks.
All right, we can talk more about it later. When we come back, President Trump trash talks Ukraine, inexplicably claiming the invaded country actually started the war.